Just started.
All right. So good evening, everyone. We're working on a fix to get this live stream onto YouTube. And I think we're still waiting on Jim to join. We accidentally booted him out about 5 minutes ago, so try to get him on here shortly.
There, it looks like our first couple of attendees are online. Do we want to just message them real quick and let them know that we're running a little bit behind schedule due to technical issues?
Actually, I'm kind of wondering, how do you see that? Are the participants?
They're listed as attendees in the participant list.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I see it now.
I see that my name is Steve Ward. I better change that. There we go.
And for the attendees online, we're currently experiencing an issue trying to live stream this on YouTube. So we're working on a fix right now, so I'm not sure how long the delay is going to be, but we'll get to the questions here shortly. I'll try to provide an update when it becomes available.
All right, we got Jim on.
All right.
Hey, Jim. Somehow you're always a minute late, Jim.
He was on time. He was on time. It's not his fault he got booted.
Actually, I don't see Jim anymore. Oh, there we go. You didn't like my comment. It's still not connected to audio, Jim. Can you hear us, Jim?
I'm working, Jim.
It's working.
There we go. All right, I can hear you.
I'm just waiting for Ryan to make us a co-host so we can switch the attendees over.
I'm on it right now. Sorry, Jackie.
That's okay. I know that's okay. Just if you can make Sarah and I both co-host, we can watch that part of it. Thank you.
Are we going to pick questions first, or has that been done?
That's been done, Jim. You get question number 7.
Okay. Guess I was number 7 to get back on, huh?
That's the reasoning why you're number 7. Somehow I got way too many tabs open.
Well, was there anything else I missed?
Oh, actually, who's going to be keeping time? We have
Time?
I can keep time.
Sarah. Perfect.
I'll give you a minute warning.
So do you mind starting the 10 minutes once I ask the first question?
Perfect.
All right, thank you. Is anybody else dealing with allergies?
I take my Zyrtec every night.
I normally don't deal with allergies, but it's kind of been a pain over the past couple of days. I think I'm ready.
Do you want to wait for the live stream, Mayor, or I can have Tracy's ready?
Actually, does it make sense for us to wait for the live stream, or can we just go ahead and get started? And actually, that's more of a question for our city council.
I say get started.
Anyone opposed to that?
I'm fine to, I would prefer to live stream, but I'm fine to start if we do what the Mayor Pro Tem suggested and let folks know why.
Okay.
And actually, I'm a little bit concerned that if we have problems and we can't get the live stream up, then it's not been open and transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we post the recording, remember, Russell?
If it gets posted, fine, but if it doesn't get posted, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I think when we did the interviews in person, we would always just record them and post them after the fact. So I think that's totally fine with me, just to, as long as the meeting gets posted, I think that meets the law.
Sounds good. But noted, Member Russell, I agree with that concern. All right. Good evening, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started if that's okay. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Board and Commission interviews for Monday, June 12th. I believe the first person we have up today is Tracy Sabina. I believe that's how you pronounce the last name, but Ms. Sabina, are you able to hear us?
Oops, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Usually doesn't get it the first time.
The C is silent. I just took a stab at it. So, but no, I appreciate you making time for us tonight, Ms. Sabina. My name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm the mayor as well as just council member for District 1. Thank you for your time tonight. We're going to be going over 7 questions with you for 10 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to answer these 7 questions. Each of the council members are going to be asking a separate question. And if we have time prior to the 10 minutes ending, you can ask a question of us as well. So do you have any questions before we get started?
Yeah. Why is my video not working?
I'm not sure. Actually, I was going to ask if you can turn on your camera. But...
Yeah, I usually have the option to do that, and it's grayed out for me. There we go. That should work. And maybe.
Not yet.
Start
Jackie, is there anything on your side in order to?
Yeah, I'm getting the prompt to start my video.
Well, it lets you click on it.
Yeah, no, it's letting me click on it, but then it's not doing it. Well, try it again.
We've asked her to, let's see. That's going to be an IT. We just asked to start the video and it should go when she clicks on it.
Yeah, and I just had a Zoom call yesterday and it worked just fine.
She's moved over to panelist. That should be, I don't have any other setting to.
Let's do this. No. Yes,
If it's all right with everybody, I think we've got some gremlins tonight, and you have the distinct honor of being our first guest. So rather than figure out if it's a local issue or a global one, we'll wait till number 2 before we figure that out. If that's okay with everybody else.
I think that probably makes sense. Yeah. So sorry about that, Ms. Sabina. We'll go ahead and get started. So I guess my first question for you, Ms. Sabina, is what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board or commission at this time?
Well, I just recently took a year leave from my job of 22 years as a teacher, high school teacher. So I took a sabbatical and have explored different things and gotten involved with my community, and I've loved it. And I'm the neighborhood leader. And I've enjoyed this city, and I just want to give back at this point in time because I have the time now.
Well, I appreciate you making time for the city, Ms. Sabina. And question number 2.
Hi, I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Council Member, Mayor Pro Tem. What knowledge, skills, or abilities would you like to bring? Would you bring to this board or commission? In particular, how will you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service in the board or commission that you marked as preferred?
So I'm applying for the Sustainability Commission. This is a area that's been very important to me over the years. I did a lot with my school around sustainability topics. And so I feel like it's a great importance to be involved in your community if you want to see the change that you want to see happen. So that's probably the biggest thing that I can bring to the table. I'm hoping to network with other people in the city to help further this this mission of what we're trying to do, not just as a city of Inglewood, but beyond in the global community. And I've just recently started my own business called Sustainably Rooted with the city of Inglewood, and I'm just getting started. And so this will help kind of support what I'm trying to do on the business side.
Member Wink.
Yes. So would you kindly describe an experience in the past? Sorry about my dog. During which you worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and or perspectives?
Well, that's pretty easy to answer. In my job as a teacher, there's a vast array of different personalities, obviously age ranges. And, you know, one thing that I've been told over and over again, no matter what I've been doing, is that I'm really good with working with all kinds of people. And I really appreciate that feedback. I think it's a skill set that's important to be able to be that kind of leader, that you're able to see everybody's different vantage points, different opinions, and listen to that as well and learn from it. And I've definitely learned a lot through my years of teaching.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you so much.
Member Newnham.
Good evening. I'm Chelsea Newnham, the City Council member for District 2. Thank you so much for applying to be on a board and a commission. I would love to know, what do you like most about living in Inglewood?
Yeah. So I tell this story all the time because I grew up in Ohio, in a small town, and I just assumed that every place was like where I grew up, which was you were involved in your community, you knew your neighbors, and I've lived in several different places in Arizona and Colorado, and I landed here in 2009. My husband and I bought our first home here in Colorado, here on Pennsylvania Street, and it only took probably 6 months before I realized that I had found the spot. And I grew to love my neighborhood quickly, and I've become very involved in my neighborhood. I know a lot of the small businesses, the small business owners, and support them. And it's every time I go away and I come home, it's not my home that makes me feel like I'm at home. It's driving into the neighborhood. And I can't say it enough. I just love where I live.
Thank you for that.
Member Anderson.
Good evening, Ms. Savina. I'm Joe Anderson, representing District 3. And my question is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your work on the Sustainability Commission were you to be appointed?
Great question. There's a lot that I want to bring to the table, but I also want to learn from what's going on and what they've been trying to do. As far as being an educator, I feel like there's an extreme importance of getting out to the community, involving more people, and what we're trying to do, and spreading the word about different ways to live sustainably. That's what I hear over and over again from my neighbors. They're asking me what I do. And I think people are hungry for it right now. It's just having the knowledge to know what to do, how to live sustainably. And so I feel like this Sustainability Commission is a very important part of bringing that to our community and to the city.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, education is certainly a critical component of the Sustainability Commission, so I appreciate your background on that.
Member Russell.
Good evening, Ms. Sabina. I'm Rita Russell. I'm council member at large. It's good to have you this evening. My question is, regular attendance and engagement with boarding commission is required. Will you be able to attend the scheduled meetings?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Member Woodward. Tim, you're on mute.
There, let's try that.
There it is.
Good evening, council member at large. And my question for you tonight is, how will you serve on this board commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Great question. I think that's a big reason why I'm signing up for this. I feel like personally, once again, I feel like this is something that will help me to dive deeper into the city and my community and giving back, because I feel like I've gotten a lot out of living here. And then professionally, like I said, I just started my own business. I'm growing that as we speak. And so I think that's only going to support my mission and what I'm trying to do on the professional side as I switch careers from being a teacher to a business owner.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Ms. Savina, I think we have at least a minute. Do you happen to have any questions for us?
Not at this time. I did have one thing that I was looking up when I was doing research for my business, and it's called the Colorado Coalition for a Livable Climate. And there's several cities around Colorado that are a part of that. And I was just wondering if the city of Inglewood has looked into becoming a part of that coalition.
That is a great question, Ms. Sabina. I'm not sure if we are a part of that coalition. I would have to take a look into it. I can definitely ask our city manager if we have looked into this. I know that we've taken part in other types of programs, but I'm not sure if this is one of them. So I can definitely take this offline and see if I can provide an answer for you.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking that up the other day, and there's several cities around us, like Littleton. Obviously, Denver's a part of it. Lakewood, but I didn't see Inglewood on there, so I just wondered if that was something that the city has looked into.
I will provide an answer for you after this meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. There's 1 minute.
Mayor, could I ask
Sure.
a follow-up question?
Go ahead, Member Anderson.
Thank you, Ms. Savina. One thing that I think is relevant to what some of the things you said is starting a business. There's a potential for a conflict of interest if you were to be in a position where you would want to contract with the city. I don't know what your business is, but is that something that's on your radar at all? I'd hate to get into a position where you were on the board and then had to step back due to some kind of conflict. So I'm just curious if your business would be the kind of business that could potentially contract with the city.
That's a great question. No, I don't see that as a conflict.
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Ms. Savina, I think we are at time. So Ms. Savina, we're actually going to be discussing positions here later on tonight. We'll make a final decision at the next council meeting, which I believe is next Tuesday.
Okay.
So once we do announce appointments, then the meetings will start in February. So we'll definitely be in touch. We'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out once the final decision is made. But I appreciate you making time for us tonight. And thank you for offering to serve your community, and have a great evening.
Thank you. And thank you all for your time and what you do.
Thank you, Ms. Savina.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. All right, I think we have Shane Smith up next.
Yes.
Mr. Smith, good evening.
Good evening. How are all of you doing? Doing good?
We're doing good. Thank you very much for making time for us tonight. Are you ready to begin, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Smith, my name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. We're going to be asking you 7 questions here tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. Our deputy city clerk, Sarah Harkness, will let you know when you are down to 1 minute. If we have any time remaining prior to the 10 minutes, then you are free to ask us questions as well. So any questions before we begin?
No.
All right, Mr. Smith, my question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Yeah, I think big thing that motivates me. So being here, I'm from Colorado native. Love our city. I was living in Denver for a while, been living in Inglewood. And my biggest thing is to always make an impact of where I live. Previously and still today at my company, I'm like the co-chair of our Difference Makers Committee. So plan a lot of community service throughout the Denver community. Work pretty hand in hand with United Way here as well. So biggest thing is I would love to join a board of commissions here in Inglewood and just make the city pretty great. So
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem, District 4 Representative. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to this board or commission? In particular, how would you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service on the board or commissions you marked as preferred?
Yeah, so the Board of Commissions that I put as my first choice was the Urban Renewal Authority. That Board of Commissions, I think I would do pretty well on. So on my day-to-day, I work as a commercial insurance broker. I work for privately and publicly held companies throughout the United States, but specifically, I deal with a lot of different housing, multifamily apartments. I'll do Section 8 housing, Section 42, and then also I deal with property and casualty insurance for large shopping centers. So just in general, I work with a lot of builders, developers, really enjoy getting to know the back end of what goes on in construction, and yeah, building new stuff. So within the Urban Renewal Authority, I think I could bring some benefit and some knowledge too from kind of a different standpoint from the insurance aspect.
Member Wink.
Yes. So I'm Cheryl Wink. I'm council member at large, Shane, and thank you for applying tonight. My question for you is, would you kindly describe for us an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse, sometimes opposing views and or perspectives? Just describe that a little bit for us.
Yeah, no, I think definitely day to day dealing with working with a lot of people, you're always going to find different viewpoints or yeah, different diverse situations. I think a lot of situations that I've dealt with would be working in the community. Right now, I'll lead community service projects again with my company. Doing that, like recently, we held a Difference Makers Day with over 100 individuals volunteering with the Dumb Friends League here, and just moving along a big group and having to step up as the leader, I think helps with dealing with the different groups as well. So
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mr. Smith. I'm Chelsea Newton-Camp with District 2 here in Inglewood. Can you please tell us what you love most about living in Inglewood?
yeah, no, things that I love most is just how the city is built. I feel like we got a beautiful spot. Definitely enjoying the rain because it is making it a lot greener here. Me and my fiance, we love going on walks. We live on Pennsylvania Street, and yeah, walking through the neighborhoods is nice, and definitely want to just give a good feel and make it a place that everybody wants to be.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Smith. I'm Joe Anderson, representing District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved regarding the commissions you applied for, which include the Urban Renewal Authority and several others? But what would you like to see improved in Inglewood?
Yeah, I think overall in Inglewood, love to see just a place to bring more people as well. I know now there's definitely a shift, and we constantly see Colorado growing. We've got more people moving here from out of state. I think if we just build a great community and are kind of like a focal point for others to look at as a great place to live, yeah, just would love to grow it and have more people migrate this way.
Very good, thank you.
Member Russell.
Good evening, Mr. Smith. Thank you for applying. So my question is, will you be able to attend the regularly scheduled meetings on a regular basis?
Yes, I will be.
Okay, thank you.
Member Woodward.
Good evening. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm council member at large. And my question for you tonight is how will you service your service on the board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Yeah, no, definitely. One of the biggest things that I always look at, and I live by quotes. One of my quotes is "Be the change you wish to see in the world." With that being what I drive to do, I think getting involved at this level on the board of commissions is just going to help me grow. Definitely want to help our community network as well, and then get a new perspective and a new view. Being kind of on the outside, I haven't been on a board of commissions before, so I'd love to see the internal processes of how it works, and then just add that to my toolbox of professionalism. So
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Smith, I think we still have some additional time. Do you have any questions for us?
yeah, I guess one question back is what is your favorite thing about Inglewood, and I guess what are some big changes or new projects we've got upcoming or plans?
Oh man, that is going to take more than a minute.
Yeah, sorry, that was a big one.
So I guess I can answer the first part of it, Mr. Smith. So biggest thing for me is I have a son. He's 11 years old. He's going to be going to middle school next year. So to me, just the schools, the parks, just the community overall. I've been here since 2009. So just a lot to love about the city in terms of just growing a family. Everything is so near, so close and nearby. Obviously made a lot of friends in the city. So I don't have very many negative things to say about the city overall, but yeah, just a good place to be.
Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, I guess the big thing too with Inglewood is, I guess, do we have any big projects coming up or something?
There are
I'll take
always
that.
big projects. Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
I sit on the URA, and that's what you applied for. We in the URA typically meet once a year. It's really just a board that is still being held on to. It doesn't have any pressing business in front of it right now, but it's being held on to on the chance that there will be some business coming forward in later years. It's much easier to keep it alive than it would be to stand it back up if we closed it. So it typically meets once a year to discuss business and discuss the budget for the oncoming year. And then that's all the business we have in front of us right now.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Mr. Smith, I think we may be at time now. And with that, we're actually going to be discussing appointments later on tonight. We'll make a final decision here on a week from Tuesday. So expect to hear from our city clerk here within the next week or so. But I appreciate you making time for us, and thank you very much for wanting to volunteer within the community.
Yeah, thank you, and great meeting you all, and yeah, have a great rest of the day. So
yeah, have a great evening, Mr. Smith. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I think we're up to Mr. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes, I'm trying to get my camera to work here. It's weird.
We had that same issue with the first caller.
Interesting. I'm trying to, because I don't have Zoom downloaded. It's just on my browser here.
Okay.
It doesn't like that.
Well, if it doesn't work, I guess we could go ahead and get started because that might be the main issue then, Mr. Fitzgerald. And I can see why I confused the last name the first time since your first name is Patrick. So anyway, my name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Mr. Fitzgerald, we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. If there is any time at the end, you can ask questions of this council. And when we get to about a minute left within that 10-minute bracket, our deputy city clerk will jump in and let us know. So do you have any questions before we get started? Is that a no, Mr. Fitzgerald? I just want to make sure your mic is still working. Mr. Fitzgerald? Can you hear us, Mr. Fitzgerald? Oh no, another technical difficulty. Is that another gremlin, Mayor Pro Tem? He's trying to connect you, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Ideally, people just need to double check their mic settings, mic and video
Can you hear me
settings
now?
before they come on.
I can hear you now. Mr. Fitzgerald, can you?
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to call in through my phone now. Jeez Louise.
No worries. Were you able to hear what I said, or should I go through that portion again?
Yes, no, it's weird that the mic was working. Yeah, no, I'm ready to go. No questions on my end.
All right, Mr. Fitzgerald, thank you very much. My question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Sure, yeah, so I am a brand new resident of Englewood. I moved here in February. And so I've just been always, very interested in civic engagement. And I just moved here from a large city. I moved here from Oakland, where, it felt like you're a small fish in this giant pond. So I love that Englewood is, a smaller town, and it feels like I can actually make an impact on my community.
Thank you very much, and welcome to England, Mr. Fitzgerald. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Council Representative. Can you tell us what knowledge, skills, or abilities you would bring to the boards or commissions that you applied for? And in particular, how you will provide a positive benefit to Englewood through your service?
Yeah, absolutely. So I applied for the Sustainability Commission. And so I have a long background in sustainability. So I just moved here from my new job where I work as an energy engineer. So I go out and perform energy efficiency audits for industrial, commercial buildings. And so that's kind of the major drive for me, is helping people become more energy efficient, reduce their carbon footprint, and work towards becoming net zero. And that comes off the back of when I lived back in California. I worked at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, where I did research on energy efficiency. And all throughout college, I got during undergrad and master's, I had a minor in sustainability to go along with my mechanical engineering degree. So, essentially my entire career has been based around this idea of, how do I take my technical skills and pair that with my passion for sustainability? So I think that's where the major benefits I can have for the Sustainability Commission lie.
Thank you.
Member Wink.
Good evening. I'm Cheryl Wink, and I'm a council member at large for the city of Englewood. And my question is around an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and or perspectives. Would you mind talking a little bit about that for us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great question. I think I saw a lot of that at the National Lab in my previous position, where there was this diverse range of professional backgrounds, educational backgrounds, and nationalities. It really attracted a diverse crowd. So, when you're in those large groups of a lot of people who have PhDs and are super intelligent that had come in with these strong ideas, I think it's kind of just laying that groundwork of, we're all on equal footing here. Everyone has, a say their own opinion, and everyone will be listened to. And essentially just showing that you care about everyone's opinion and making sure that you're inclusive, because, the more diversity that's brought into the group, the better the ideas come out of it. That's what I sincerely believe. So, I think essentially just making sure that everyone has their moment to speak and give their opinion and be heard.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I could not agree with you more. It's tricky and interesting what you tend to find in terms of opposing views and perspectives in public service. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Mr. Fitzgerald, it's nice to meet you. I'm Chelsea Camp, the council member for District 2. We would love to hear from you about what you love most about living in Englewood since you've been here.
Sure. Yeah, great question. I think for me, it's that small town feel. Like I said, so I grew up in a small town outside Chicago, where once again, it felt like you could become civically engaged and have this impact on a community that's greater than yourself. And then moving to a massive town, a massive urban area like Oakland, where there were major issues that you're like, I would love to help with this and, give back in some way, but it feels like it's just so much larger than yourself. So for me, so far, living in Oakland, it's had that small town feel that I feel super comfortable with, and obviously, I'm very enthused and hoping that I can have that impact on the community by working with these commissions.
Well, thank you so much for applying. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thanks.
Good evening, Mr. Fitzgerald. I'm Joe Anderson. I represent District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood, and how would your service on the Sustainability Commission work towards that?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I think for me specifically on the sustainability side, it seems like I couldn't get a full history on it, but it seems like it's recently transitioned into this more sustainability focused, kind of overarching kind of commission. So I was curious if more of energy efficiency, if net zero, if a kind of decarbonization goal in a larger sense has been considered as part of the sustainability side. So I'd be more interested in getting more of the decarbonization technical side involved into the conversation within the Sustainability Commission.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah, and those are conversations that the commission is certainly having.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Member Russell?
Good evening, Mr. Fitzgerald. I'm Rita Russell. I'm a council member at large. It's great to have you this evening. My question is, regular attendance and engagement in the board and commission is a requirement. And I'm wondering if there will be any problems, you foresee any problems that will keep you from attending?
No, ma'am. I foresee I could attend all meetings.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Member Woodward?
Good evening, Patrick. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm a council member at large. My question for you is, how will you service on the boards or commissions benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Oh, that is a great question. I think for me, kind of digging into who I am as a person, I feel like I inherently have quite a bit of climate anxiety, which I think is relatively common these days. And I've found that the greatest way for me to assuage those anxieties is to essentially put all of me into trying to help people reduce their carbon footprint, to essentially just fight against climate change as much as I can. And a single person recycling obviously has a great impact, but when you're able to affect things on a larger scale, that obviously multiplies the effects that any one person can have. So I think personally for me, it's that multiplying the abilities that I know I have and helping it to address climate change on a larger scale than I could individually.
Okay, thank you. Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Fitzgerald. Any questions for us, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yeah, I guess just for experience on the boards and commissions, how has it kind of met what you were expecting it to be, and what has the reality of it been? So I guess kind of going along with what I was saying, does it feel like you are affecting your local community in a larger way than you could just as a typical citizen?
Anybody want to jump in on that one?
I think that's a fantastic question. Does anyone want to answer it more than I do?
Go ahead.
No? So I think it's a brilliant question. Probably the best question we've had in a while. And I think it's very dependent on the particular board or commission. I think my council members will probably nod or shake heads the other way. And so certain ones are quasi-judicial and judiciary, and they work and integrate and align with council in a different way than the others. But even beyond that facet of difference, I think historically it's depended. I think we've seen, I think overall we see success. We've got residents that are just engaging in all these ways. I think one of our favorite facets is when the boards and commissions may come and sort of present and report on some of their accomplishments, etc. within a council meeting. Just love kind of seeing and hearing from some of them in person.
Mhm.
But it's going to vary. Overall, it's a success to just have people volunteer and engage and show up and make decisions. I mean, this is your city. You elect us, but it's your city. And so it's really fantastic to hear the voice and see all these pieces move alongside our strategic plan that the citizens are executing. And
20 seconds.
yeah, I'll stop there in case anyone else wants to add anything else. But that's a really wonderful question.
Go ahead, Member Woodward.
Yeah, speaking from the first two boards and commissions that I got on way back many years ago, Parks and Recreation Commission and what was then Keep Inglewood Beautiful, which is now the Sustainability Commission. Those two commissions, I felt like we really participated in everything from making Pirates Cove a reality to selecting playground equipment on Keep Inglewood Beautiful. The first 2 years we did 5K runs as fundraisers for the neighborhood hazardous materials roundup. So yeah, on boards and commissions I've been on, I've felt very good about what was going on and the participation in the community with it.
Fantastic. That's great to hear.
Thank you, Member Woodward. Mr. Fitzgerald, we are at that time. We will be discussing appointments here later on tonight. We'll make a final decision a week from Tuesday. I do appreciate you making time for us tonight, and we'll be in touch once the appointments are announced. So thank you again for your time tonight, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We go.
See here, do we have Ms. Stinson? By the way, Jim, your hand is still raised. Good evening, Ms. Stinson. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great.
Good evening,
Hi.
Ms. Stinson. Yeah, thank you
Yes.
thank you for making time for us tonight. My name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Ms. Stinson, we're going to be asking you 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, our Deputy City Attorney, Sarah Harkness, will let you know that we do have 60 seconds remaining. I think, do you happen to have any questions for us before we get started?
Not yet. Nope. I've been listening. So
All right. Well, Ms. Stinson, thank you for making time. My question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board of Commission at this time?
sure. I just I've been working in affordable housing this past excuse me, probably 18 months. I've really delved into this affordable housing world, and I saw that the city was appointing an affordable housing task force. And I really wanted to get more involved. It's something I've been a long-term Inglewood resident, and so I really wanted to see how I could help bring my knowledge and connections to the city.
No, that's great. Thank you very much for that, Ms. Stinson. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Council Member and Mayor Pro Tem. My question for you fits perfectly with your answer to the previous question, which is, how do your knowledge, skills, and abilities help you in this board or commission, and how would they benefit Inglewood in service?
Sure. I mean, I've been working in real estate and development for the past 5 years. But prior to that, I've worked with builders in this industry, so I'm very knowledgeable. But I have been specifically working in affordable housing with developers and land trusts, and different ways that people are really getting creative to make this affordable housing option available to consumers and to buyers. And I do see that it's lacking in Inglewood. I see the new projects going up. I see the new properties being built along Oxford, and I know the rent that's being introduced, and I know what we're selling in Denver, is a fraction of that cost. And so when I try to even promote these projects to people through the Inglewood Chamber, it's so far away. So how do I bring this to the community? Our next project's in 5 Points. And so it's like, I can't provide affordable housing to somebody in Inglewood by convincing them to move to 5 Points.
Thank you.
Member Wink.
Excellent. I am Cheryl Wink. I'm a city council member at large. I'm grateful that you applied. And my question is about your experience working with diverse opinions that may be sometimes opposing. So would you kindly just share with the council an experience where you worked with people with conflicting ideas and views?
Sure. I mean, I think this is